Hi, my name is Bailey Upchurch, and this is my cultural experience project. So for this project, I decided to attend the Houston Pride Festival, and I do not identify as part of the community, but I am very much in support of the LGBTQ plus community, very much in support of LGBTQ plus awareness and rights, especially for teens. But I've never actually attended any kind of festival, any kind of thing for Pride outside of the Aggie Ally class or Aggie Ally group at A&M. And so I really didn't know what to expect. And what I thought was going to happen was it was going to be like the rodeo, where, it's in this large area, there are street vendors, there are people selling so many different kinds of food, there are Ferris wheels and roller coasters. And so I thought it was going to be held at a place like NRG, where the rodeo is. But I mapped it out and I got there and I was like shocked, a bad shock, at how small it was, at how small the venue was, because there were thousands and thousands of people. I was standing shoulder to shoulder almost the entire time at the festival. There was no personal space, there was no personal bubble. You were shoulder to shoulder with people who were dressed half naked, and that's just how it went. And so it was inspiring to see how many people showed up in support of the community, especially coming from Texas. We live in Texas. We live in a state that has this culture and this identity of being a conservative state that is against LGBTQ plus rights, women's rights, and minority rights. And yet when I got there, that idea went away. That identity that I have seen in Texas all my life went out the window, because there were so many people there that said, no, that identity is wrong, and we stand for the LGBTQ plus community. And so it was inspiring to see. And there were vendors there. There were people selling food, not a lot, but there were people there. And the people who were selling hats and towels and blankets and all these different kinds of things, they were all there in support of the LGBTQ plus community. And so it made you want to go and actually buy something from them, because they're there to support you, so you want to support them. And there were advocacy groups there, there were civil rights groups there that you could sign up for. People were walking around with clipboards and pens yelling, vote for Beto, sign to vote for Beto. And so it was just so inspiring to see so many people come together and say, we're going to celebrate your community. We want to celebrate your pride. We want you to have an outlet. We want you to have a place to be yourself. And people did. People dressed the way that they wanted to dress. They did what they wanted to do. And this was their time. And so I really enjoyed my time there. Despite the fact that it was rainy, humid, and in Texas heat. And everyone didn't care. That was the great thing, is that yes, it was raining, yes, it was humid, everyone still showed up. And so being in this environment, I felt joy and I felt pride for this community. But I did feel overwhelmed because of the lack of clothing and the lack of my bubble. But I still felt proud to be there, and I felt proud to stand with this community. Even if I don't identify with this community, I still felt proud to be there. And so while I was there, I was thinking about the different issues that we see in the LGBTQ plus community when it comes to education, and more specifically what happens and what it means for students and youth who identify within this community. And so I did some research, and I was looking into a lot of statistics. And so what I found from the Trevor Project, gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender teens make up a third of all teen suicide. And that youth members of the LGBTQ plus community are 3 times more likely to contemplate suicide than heterosexual youth. And they're also 5 times more likely to have attempted suicide. And then even worse, teens who come from rejecting families, families that reject the idea of LGBTQ plus. They're 8.4 times as more likely to have attempted suicide. And when I think about it, I understand why they feel so unloved. We see protesting all the time against the LGBTQ plus community. I expected there to be a lot of protesting at the festival, and I only saw 2 people. That's it. And with those 2 people was a third person standing there with a sign that says, God still loves you. Because these teens and people who identify as a part of this community, they're told by bishops like Eddie Long that gay men deserve death for their vile behavior and is against Christian religious values. And groups like Conservative Republicans of Texas, who are based in Houston, saying that they aim for traditional family values, meaning a male and a female together. And so to see those statistics, I understand why they're there, but then at the same time, as an educator, I don't understand how we can let that happen. We have to be there for our students. And so after I thought about these issues and the fact that, LGBTQ plus students, they don't feel cared for. So many of them contemplate suicide. So many of them attempt suicide, and a third of them make up teen suicide rates. And so I thought about what is being done and what can be done. And the first thing I thought of is that we as educators need to be more supportive. When we see bullying on campus, we have to stop it. We have to invest and create a curriculum that talks about and celebrates the LGBTQ plus community. And not even just the LGBTQ plus. It needs to celebrate all different races, all different ethnicities, all different genders. We need to make sure that these students feel loved and understood. And I also found a whole bunch of different advocacy websites and places that teens can go to, websites that teens can go to find support and find help. And not just the teens either, educators and parents. They have access to these websites that help and educate them on what they need to be doing and what to look out for. And I think that that's important for us. And I found in Canada as well, there is a support group. It's a positive space group, and it's much like the Aggie Ally. They educate people about LGBTQ plus awareness. You stand with the community, you sign that you stand with the community, and you receive a button so people know that I stand with the LGBTQ plus community. And we need that in more of our schools. We need that so people can understand. We need to be teaching our students to understand and be loving. So I think that we really need to invest in advocacy groups like that and really see that grow throughout the United States so that these statistic numbers can go down. And so being at this Pride Festival, it really confirmed my belief. Something that I've learned from this class is that we just simply need to be more understanding of all different cultures and all different religions and all different ethnicities and all different genders. We need to be more accepting, and we need to give people an outlet. We need to give them a space to say, I love me, which is the #1 shirt that I saw at the Pride Festivals. I love me. We need to make sure that students love themselves and that they understand that they are loved. And so I love doing this project because it really opened my eyes to what we need to be doing as educators to help LGBTQ plus students, and then other cultural groups as well. So thank you.